This is Business, Equity, and Opportunities.
Hi, and welcome to Business, Equity, and Opportunities. I'm Scott Sander. Whether you are an entrepreneur or you want to be a small business owner, each week our goal is to provide you with information and inspiration to start and grow your own business. We seek out resources and have some meaningful conversations with business owners and community leaders who share their own insights and expertise developed through the experience. Our categories remain the same each week: getting started, gaining access to capital, keeping up with current events in the weekend business, handling accounting and bookkeeping issues, a variety of issues to help you run your business day to day. We also take a closer look at a specific industry each week, a focus. Also, we like to close with a success story to inspire all. Our shows are new every Sunday on Wish TV and streaming at wishtv.com. We also post each of our 7 weekly segments on our website. It is beoshow.com, so you can watch them and share them. You'll see a QR code pop up through the show. That'll take you directly to that website. Here's what's ahead this hour on Business, Equity, and Opportunities. We stop by Mid-States Procurement Conference to find out more about the launch pad to success. We'll recap the economic impact the solar eclipse had on the state. Courtney Kincaid talks the financial literacy aims of her organization. A new Eskenazi Health Center is about to open. We'll learn about how it's improving the quality of life for the city's East Side community. And see how BioCrossroads is driving the life sciences industry growth and innovation in Indiana. To get things started, we're meeting this month's Vendor of the Month for Indianapolis. The Office of Minority and Women Business Development named the civil engineering company JQOL the vendor for April. We were there as Director David Fredericks and Indianapolis-Marion County Councilor Dan Boots made the presentation to owner Jarvis Jointer, who founded the firm in 2019 with the goal of improving the quality of life through its work.
This is Business, Equity, and Opportunities. Getting started.
Hi, I'm Jarvis Jointer, President and Founder of JQOL Quality of Life, with the vision of improving the quality of life. We're here at our office. We've been established in 2019, and I've been in space about a year and a half. Let's just rewind it 5 years ago when I first launched this business out of my basement. I knew there was a different way we can do engineering, a way we can just change people's lives. And so me, myself, and my computer, we said, hey, let's go ahead and start a new engineering firm. And since then, we've been able to grow to 55 people. I have an office in Indianapolis, Owensboro, and Louisville. Our core service areas are surveying, structural engineering, construction inspection, landscape architecture, and construction administration. Probably my entire life, probably about 5th grade when I decided I wanted to become a civil engineer. And every step I took throughout my life, from going to John Marshall Middle School, to going to Brebeuf, to going to Purdue, to my first internship and jobs after that, continually led to, quality of life. Civil engineers, I get to tell my staff, I said, we get to play Sim City, we get to build cities, which is so exciting. Well, I like to say that, I use an example, when you wake up in the morning, you turn your water on. Well, we help bring water to your bring water to you. Then the transportation network, the roads, the highways, the bridges, we help build those and design them for people to come. Then when you get to the place, that sense of work, that environment, that building, all those different aspects are things that civil engineers touch on a daily basis. And that's why the quality of life is so important, because we have the resources in Indiana, we have the resources in Indianapolis, where we can grow and build these different things to have a great environment. I would say that business ownership, there's a lot of highs and lows every single day. There's times you want to cry and there's times you want to succeed. But I would say JQOL's success is because of the strong network and partnership that I have built over the last 20 plus years in industry, where when I first launched, there were people that came out and said, how can I help? How can I help be a part of? How can I help you be successful? And as much as I want to say I take all the credit, it's from my community and the partners that helped us grow, to help us do library projects, to help us be on the school projects, to say, hey, I want to help become part of JQOL. And so the whole community is really what really helps JQOL become what it is, how we've gone from 1 to 55 people and continue to expand and grow. And being a business owner, it's fun, but it's a greater responsibility that you have. Now you're responsible for individual people's lives, their kids' lives, their family. And so although we are improving the quality of life outside, it's the quality of life inside JQOL, which makes us so special. our benefits from just having unlimited FTO, being a flexible work environment, having an environment that's accessible where you can have true out-of-the-box thinking and grow, and knowing that we can do something different. When someone says, oh, we've always done it this way, challenge them, whether it's from internal or external. And that's what makes it so special here. It means a lot because there are thousands, if not more, small businesses that have this opportunity. And if I believe so, it's only 12 selected each year. To be one of those 12, to be recognized from the city is so important to me. I think that greater responsibility as an engineer, as a young Black engineer, that you can do something special, that there are people that continue to support you. And not only through our projects, it's through our education aspects, the scholarships that JQOL has started, the partnership we have with universities, the schools, the MEPIs. Those are all different aspects that go into us becoming Vendor of the Month. Some of the community things that we do, we've been able to create a scholarship for Marion University called the Jarvis Jointer and JQOL Quality of Life, where a young student from Indianapolis is able to go, and that's a perpetual scholarship that we've created. We've also done scholarship programs and internships with MEPI, Minority Engineering Program in Indianapolis. We're involved in so many other organizations, from Paul's, also sit on the board of directors for Purdue School of Civil Engineering. So all those different aspects are a way that we are creating another aspect for younger generations to know that it's possibility for them to become engineers, to be involved with STEM, or even to have their own businesses someday. As people search for their purpose in life, and we all do, we continue to search purposeful. I say I had my midlife crisis early. I started a company. But the most purpose is that each and every aspect we do at JQOL, we are affecting so many different people. For instance, today we had a groundbreaking at Broad Ripple Middle School, being able to bring schools back on board. We've gotten an award for Northview Middle School, the design and construction of that project, the libraries that we've been able to design to help kids actually read. Those different things change communities that people continue to see every single day. That's why we say we're a community-based organization, and we don't accept any and every project. Our project has to be core to our true fundamental values. We call them FIC, and it's a fun, integrity, quality, and commitment. With fun being, it's at the headline of it is because we spend a lot of our lives at work with our coworkers. So how do we continue to create that environment? But this award means so much to me, for me and my family. I'd love to get a selfish shout out to my mother, which she's been an inspiration to my life. She's a captain on the police force that's gonna be retiring, but her inspiration and duty that she's given back to the public is a way that I wanna also mirror that image.
If you have a story about business getting started or anything else you think we need to know about, send us an email, beo@wishtv.com. Coming up, opportunities from the Minority Supplier Development Council. Access to capital is next. Keep it here. Time to talk about accessing capital on business equity and opportunities. Demetrius Glover is the president and CEO of Mid-State's Minority Supplier Development Council. We caught up with him at this year's Annual Procurement Conference to find out more about Mid-State's mission to strengthen collaboration between organizations and minority-owned businesses.
This is Business, Equity, and Opportunities. Access to capital.
Hello, I'm Dr. Demetrius Glover, President and CEO of the Mid-States Minority Supplier Development Council. We're at the 2024 Annual Procurement Conference for the Mid-States Minority Supplier Development Council. We are the regional affiliate of the National Minority Supplier Development Council. Our goal is to connect our member corporations with minority-owned businesses and to help those corporations improve their supplier diversity outcomes and diversify their supply chains. We've been around for 50 years. Literally in 2026, we celebrate our 50th anniversary. Supply diversity was actually created by the Nixon administration. So we've been around for a long time, and it's been important for a long time. I think it's increased its relevance to people as diversity, equity, and inclusion has become a more relevant topic. And I'd say that supplier diversity is a key aspect of how you achieve the equity piece in a diversity, equity, inclusion program, because you're working with diverse people and you're putting real money, real opportunity in diverse populations. I would say interest in it has become more intensified. And in one sense, there's more intense interest in doing it, and there's also more intense interest in fighting it. So we've seen in the news that diversity is under attack, or DEI is under attack, supplier diversity is under attack. And so one, there's a side that's trying to do it with more intensity, more fervor, and then there's also a side trying to dismantle it and bring it down. So in the standard DEI space of workforce, workplace, diverse, inclusive cultures, that has been proven many times over to be more beneficial to businesses. By bringing in diverse populations, including them into your corporate space, including that alternate voice, you actually create more opportunity to be a more successful business, a more productive business, and to give your organization more opportunities to win. In the supplier diversity space, it's also a way to increase diversification in the supply chain, but also a way to innovate into the supply chain. So sometimes it's the diverse vendor who's providing a unique product or a unique alternative to something that might be a standard product. So one of the things is helping organizations understand that when you come to an event like this and you're meeting with corporations, then you want to be prepared to meet. So you want to have an elevator speech. You want to know how to quickly explain what you do, how you do it. You want to have a quality or a capability statement ready to hand out. So you have to be ready to make that good first impression when you come to one of these things. Sometimes we do training, and if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready kind of sessions. So you come here and you are ready. But also in the moment, we also have things like pitch competitions and other activities where then we can have and demonstrate businesses who show that they're ready to present themselves to corporations. For our pitch competition, that we are bringing 30, 40, 50 major corporations to one space. So how often do you have the opportunity to come to one location, give one pitch, and present yourself to 50 corporations? So that's a unique opportunity that we offer. The other thing is that whether you win or lose, you've presented your options. One of the things that caught my interest yesterday is one of the companies that pitched in our pitch competition yesterday. Although they did not win, they didn't even place. But as they walked off the stage, 3 different businesses went up to them and said, "We need your card, we need to talk to you, we want to work with you or talk about working with you in the future." So just by pitching, created opportunity. So what I would say today was one of the unique things we did is we actually made sure that almost every presentation, every panel provided some level of information that would make you better informed about the realities of doing supplier diversity, whether that be a diverse business and how you prepare yourself, how you pursue business, or even as a corporation, how do you protect your desire to support supplier diversity in a world where supplier diversity is to some degree under attack. And so I would hope that anyone leaves this conference more knowledgeable about supplier diversity than when they came. The second thing is that we also created a lot of opportunity for people to network and meet and connect with one another. So I hope that next year we've got a list of success stories to talk about. People came here, they met, they made contacts, and went forward. And then one thing I also want to add that we did that is also unique here is we actually had a reverse pitch competition. So usually pitch competitions, you have the diverse businesses pitch to the corporations. This time we actually had corporations pitch to the diverse suppliers. And the reality is that if everyone tries to max out their supply diversity goals, there aren't always enough diverse businesses that have the scale and capacity to do work for everybody. So to some degree, diverse businesses, they have to be aggressive, but also they have to be selective. They have to make sure they're pursuing the right partner and they take the right opportunity, or it can be detrimental to their business. So to some degree, corporations are also competing for the diverse business, competing for the diverse partners. And so having corporations say, these are our opportunities, but also these are our programs, these are our payment terms, these are our policies. Are they an attractive candidate for a diverse vendor? And so we did that here too. So I would hope that one, our corporations found diverse partners that they can work with, but also we hope that our diverse partners found corporations that are good targets for them to try to work with and to become partners with. So this has been a pretty good 2 days that the energy, I would also say the information. We had some very powerful stories told here. To some degree, when you're the CEO and you kind of have to trust the team, the staff, and just say, I have some general ideas of what we're going to put on, but then to see what actually was presented at this conference in the last 2 days has been very impactful. I'd say I've learned myself things, I think I know supplier diversity, and I'm leaving knowing more than when I showed up. And so I think that others hopefully get that same perspective. And then for me also, I also get some incentive on, hey, these are what other things we could do. Because I'm talking to our member corporations and our certified MBEs, and sometimes I've just asked them, what else do you want to see from Mid-States? How can we help you? How can we help your corporation? How can we improve your supply diversity outcomes? So I've gotten a lot of feedback today too, based on either what they've seen, what they've heard, and also how we can serve them better.
When we return, we talk with City County Councilor Dan Boots about how attracting businesses like the Vendor of the Month we talked about earlier this hour can improve the larger landscape in communities across Indianapolis. It's next on Business Equity and Opportunities.
This is Business, Equity, and Opportunities.
Welcome again to Business Equity and Opportunities. Dan Boots is the Indianapolis-Marion County Councilor for District 3, serving the northeast side of the city. Following the presentation this week of the Vendor of the Month, he took a few minutes to talk about some of the improvements that new businesses are ushering into the area that he serves.
This is Business, Equity, and Opportunities. This Week in Business.
My name is Dan Boots. I'm the City County Councilor for District 3, which is this area. And we're here today honoring JQOL for their Women's Diversity Business Award for the great things they've done in our community and for Central Indiana and also throughout the state. We are in District 3 near Allisonville Road, obviously, and 465. We're condensed but have still open land, particularly in this Allison Point Business Park. And with JQOL's relocation here, it kind of revitalized the business community. We also have a major project going in here literally right across the street on this bare parcel. That's going to be a big mixed-use 4-story development with interior parking garage that we think will add additional infusion of people. People means money, people means business. So the more people and also will help possibly provide employees and a work staff right across the street from such a dense residential property. So we're excited about keeping part of this revitalization along the entire 82nd corridor, because we are just one step out of the Castleton retail area, which is also a major focus of mine. It has been the last 5 years, trying to revitalize that business area and also bring it more family friendly with the benefit of the nickel plate trail coming through, increasing bimodal connectivity through the area, bringing much more some green space, less gray and concrete, basically. Indiana itself is an incredible deep talent pool for businesses, particularly an A&E firm and civil engineer. I'm glad to say Mr. Jointer is a fellow Boilermaker, and so we have a great infusion of high talent between Purdue and Rose-Hulman, Indiana, and Notre Dame. And we're trying to keep people here in Central Indiana, prevent the brain drain. And I think really in my experience, hometown businesses, particularly because of their knowledge of the people in the area and their long time having roots here, that really helps a small business versus someone from out of state just plopping in the middle of Indianapolis trying to build a business. I think it's really helpful to have a homegrown business and with people that have worked with other companies. I mean, it's very synergistic that way. And once they start that organic growth, you really see an explosion. And now, as we've seen here, we've got businesses in 2 states and 3 cities, and the FTE count's really exploding, and that's what we really like to see. Our job as City County Council is also to add what I would call kind of supporting infrastructure, not only just your roads and so on, but a quality of life issue. That's why I'm very big on green space, trails, walkability, not where you have to get in a car to go across the street because there's just no way to get there. We're really trying to tear down those barriers because it really adds to business growth, it adds to residential mixed use, which is really, as all this evidence shows, really the wave of the future. So we're trying to really get more residential here in the Castleton area because that will also then help and raise the quality of businesses. And that's, as a city government, kind of our function. So we're really excited about when we have a hometown success like JQOL.
Last week, Central Indiana had front row seats to a once-in-a-lifetime shared experience. The total solar eclipse brought hundreds of thousands of visitors to the state, and the show did not disappoint.
Well, this for me is a really special moment because it's more than just racing. This is an opportunity for our entire community, Central Indiana, Indianapolis, to bring people into our community to see it, and people that aren't even race fans that are just here to watch something happen that impacts us all. So for me, I'm just excited about seeing everybody here who's here to look up at the sky and realize how we're all under one sun and how important that sun is to us. And 50,000 people here today is pretty impressive and pretty excited to just see the smiling faces, the families, and the kids. I think what this really means when you have so many people coming from outside of Indiana to here, because this is the place where you can see solar eclipse in its totality, it's great for our marketplace, it's great for hotels, it's great for restaurants. More importantly, I think it's just really great for our city and for our Hoosier hospitality. It's a real thing, and when people get here and really get to experience it, I hope they leave here with great feelings about Indiana and Indianapolis.
On the other side of this timeout, Courtney Kincaid shares what the state's CPAs are doing to encourage financial literacy. Later, we meet some of the leaders behind the construction of the latest health center from Eskenazi. It's all next on Business Equity and Opportunity.
This is Business, Equity, and Opportunities.
Welcome again to Business Equity and Opportunities. April is Financial Literacy Month. Courtney Kincaid, the president and CEO of the Indiana CPA Society, talks about how the organization is trying to help more business owners become informed.
This is Business, Equity, and Opportunities, Accounting and Bookkeeping.
It's April, so I would like to talk to you about financial literacy. I know that the viewers of this show typically are small business owners and entrepreneurs, so I'm not going to spend time wasted on individual financial literacy, but I would like to talk about business financial literacy. CPAs, obviously, who I represent and work with, have a lot to do with increasing the financial literacy of clients here in Indiana. And when we talk about financial literacy from an organizational standpoint, we really start to talk about understanding your business and how it operates from the perspective of a couple of different considerations. I've talked before about the business's financials, their balance sheet, and there are several parts of the balance sheet. And I know for some small business owners who are not, they don't speak the language of business, then it can be really difficult to understand what's the difference between this balance sheet and income statement, for example, right? What's the difference between assets and what's the difference between assets versus revenue? And how do I look at those differently and how are they reconciled? And the truth is regardless of where you're operating, if you're running a business, you need to be financially literate if you're going to be successful, which is where a CPA comes in. And so, first of all, I would just recommend if you're a small business and you're not working with a CPA, work with a CPA, right? And so how do I find one, or how do I find one that fits my needs? Interviewing potential CPAs is definitely something that you should be considering. What are your needs, and are they going to be able to fill those needs? So thinking about asking them, where are your weaknesses? Like, can you explain to me what is the difference between a balance sheet and a financial statement? How should I be thinking about my assets versus what does revenue look like? And then, there's a whole nother set underneath that of language that is really helpful. Understanding your debt ratio, understanding your credit rating, and understanding the different parts that go into that can make significant differences in your ability in the future to get funding, whether that's from investors or if it's a classic loan. Understanding what your return on investment is really something that you should understand, right? Additionally, just understanding your cash flow. A lot of small businesses have calendar-based ebbs and flows, and so making sure that you do really well in the summer to support when you might not be doing so well and cash flow-wise in the winter, and how that flows and how that might affect when you need to do some lending and borrowing is all stuff that a CPA can help you with. We say that CPAs speak the language of business, which is really great when we're talking about financial literacy because it really meshes well together, right? The fact is that a lot of individuals are financially illiterate in understanding, and it's not something that we're taught in school. And so you can be really great at whatever vertical that you're in, but if you don't have that other component, it's going to be really challenging no matter what. There are a lot of different ways that your relationship could be formed with a CPA, right? So some are more fully embedded, even though they're not a full-time staff, or you might hire a fractional CFO who is more embedded, who is there for a couple of days each week versus 5 days. But in the end, regardless of what that looks like, a good CPA is a trusted business advisor, right? They are the financially literate component. And so even if you have challenges there, a good CFO will be able to help you understand the decisions that you're making and explain them in what we refer to as plain English, right? Because when you get into it, sometimes you're like, oh my gosh, what are these people around the table talking about? I'm not sure. They're your translator. So making sure they're in important meetings with you, making sure they're reviewing important documents, making sure that they're involved on the front end is really, really helpful, especially as you're a small or starting out, to make sure that you have everything set up properly to reap all the benefits. Having a CPA help you determine what systems you need, and whether that's from payroll, whether that's accounts receivable, having systems that talk to each other, that they understand your needs as a business and the capabilities of certain technologies, they're a great resource for that technology component in managing the finances, which is much like we talk about cybersecurity or business advisory services. It is not something that necessarily comes to mind immediately when people think about what their CPA can do for them. But in that trusted advisor role, it really is a holistic view of your financial picture.
Up next, how Eskenazi incorporated the needs of the community into its newest health center. That's coming up on Business Equity and Opportunity.
This is Business, Equity, and Opportunities.
Welcome again to Business Equity and Opportunities. The new Eskenazi Health Thomas and Arlene Grande Campus officially opens its doors April 17th. 95,000 square feet, located on the east side of Indianapolis. The health system says it's an energy-efficient, environmental design built with sustainable materials, all with the needs and suggestions of community members in mind.
This is Business, Equity, and Opportunities, running your business day to day.
I'm Daniel Klock. I'm Director of Facility Planning and Management. Our team manages all design and construction processes for the hospital system. So we are involved in this project from conception to planning to design and construction. That commitment to design and environmental and energy friendliness is apparent throughout all of the design, and that we're probably going to be certified silver in leadership in energy and environmental design through the U.S. Green Building Council. We believe that the building itself, all the way from its energy systems to the environment around us, is part of holistic medicine. We not only look at the building, but the landscaping, the music program we have, the artwork that we have. That's all part of the healing process. This location is the epicenter of the patients in this area that we care for. So this is an important node to the city, an important location to us, in that these are primarily the patients that we take care of. Again, the building itself, and I want to say something that's unique about this building. So we had 5 community workshops where we went into the community with neighborhood organizations, individuals from this location, and we actually talked to them about what do they need for their health, what do they need in this kind of facility. So the people were actually part of the design of this building. All the colors you see, the furniture, the landscaping, that's all based on feedback from our patient base that we have here. So it's not just something pulled, a design pulled out of a book, but this is uniquely tailored to the individuals that we serve. Our contribution from the design and construction standpoint is that we have a facility that we're proud of because it represents the people that we treat. And so our brand and our building itself is something representative of the Eskenazi Health system, which serves the community. Everything you see here, we had Ball State students walk through, right? And they were interior design students and architects, and they were, critiquing the colors and looking at things when they were walking through. But, every area of the city is kind of unique, and different cities in the United States are unique. So a lot of that, the culture of people is different, and that's really incorporated into everything you see here. So it was really important.
Yeah, so when we are thinking about the things that our community is facing, we understand that not only are there needs, but there are also strengths and assets within each community. And so we wanted to, in the attempt to address needs, wanted to partner with the community and have them identify what they thought was most important for us to think about addressing. We've had an open house, we had a ribbon cutting, and so just to see their excitement that they saw the paint colors and some of the art that they recommended to be included in the facility, the design, even the room, and even the intentionality around the community space that's on the first floor dedicated to welcoming our neighbors. Well, I'm not sure what the percentages are exactly, but we have exceeded the targets for diversity supplier engagement. And so just to understand that and understand the commitment that Eskenazi has is very important to not only the community, but those that will be working in this facility, the future patients that will be here. And so we're excited about the engagement and the intentionality and commitment to diversity that Eskenazi has had and continues to have. I want to see patients being served as they shall be. We'll have a community partner that will be housed within the facility, and so they may have some programming. They will be moving in shortly thereafter, but we want to look at just ways to continue to engage our community. Not only will we be serving patients, but there's also the Marion County Public Health Department. There's a pharmacy within the facility. There's an optical space as well. And so a lot of times people don't understand what the services actually are. So we would encourage them to really look at what our services are. And then if they want, they can come in and walk through the facility and see the art that is included as well, and just really enjoying this facility. So it's a place of healing, not just physical healing, but holistic healing.
Running your business day to day is made possible by Circulus Digital Media.
Eskenazi's commitment to leadership in energy and environment design will be featured as part of our Celebrating Earth Day Every Day special. That's coming up April 18th, 6:30 in the evening on Wish TV. We invite you to learn more about how Indiana companies and community organizations are working to protect the planet. Coming up next this hour, we meet the CEO of a thriving startup that is playing a major role in growth and innovation in the life sciences industry here in Indiana. Meet him next on Business Equity and Opportunities. Welcome back. Vince Wong is the president and CEO of BioCrossroads, the initiative of the Central Indiana Corporate Partnership, created to support and encourage new business development in Indiana's life sciences sector. Areas include pharmaceuticals, medical devices, biomedical technology, and more, all dedicated to improving life.
This is Business, Equity, and Opportunities. Industry Focus.
So life sciences, broadly speaking, is anything that is used to treat and manage a human disease. And so when we think about life sciences from a product perspective, they are things that you might take. Cold medicine is a product of life science, or a cancer medication is a product of life science research and development and production, but also diagnostics as well. So, when someone is not feeling well, you need to find out what is wrong and what's going on with that patient. And so there are products in the diagnostics realm to identify and help healthcare professionals identify what is going on with that patient. And then when someone's put on a particular therapy, like a medication or a device to help treat and manage that disease, those are also products that are coming out of life sciences. So it's a broad umbrella that speaks to really the research development and ultimately production, manufacturing, and commercialization of products that help human health. Right now, Indiana is a life science leader. We are number 2 exporter of life science products in the country. We're number 1 exporter of pharmaceutical products in the country. But certainly, pretty much every state is trying to develop their own life science sector, because what does that mean? It means high wage jobs. And so we certainly cannot be resting on our laurels. We have to continue to look out ahead and say, okay, what do we need to continue to do from a capacity building, from a workforce development perspective, from an environment perspective, to make sure that companies that are here can thrive and grow. And also, it's an attractive place for new companies to come and either start here or plant the flag here. BioCrossroads, we've been around for over 25 years, and we are a consortium of all of the stakeholders that are relevant for life sciences. So we bring together individuals and organizations from the private sector, so the major corporations like Roche, Elanco, Eli Lilly, Cook Medical, Zimmer Biomet are members of our organization, in addition to the major research universities, so Purdue, IU School of Medicine, University of Notre Dame. They're also part of our ecosystem. And then we also bring to bear other nonprofits and also governmental organizations as well. And so what we're trying to do is, we are a convener of all these stakeholders to try to make sure that we have a unified strategy to grow and enable the robust ecosystem of life sciences here in Indiana. I think there's 2 challenges with regard to workforce and talent development here in Indiana that is going to be important for us to solve to help enable the great opportunities we have for growth here in Indiana. One is continuing to attract and retain talent around the research and development disciplines. So how do we make sure that we have an environment that can keep and retain and attract the brightest minds to help us discover that next product, right? Help us understand deep insights into disease biology, what is actually driving a particular disease, and what are some maybe new pathways to develop therapies to address those diseases. And then downstream from the research development area is we need to have people to be able to make these products, and so manufacturing. And we are projected to have a shortage of about 2,500 to 3,700 manufacturing jobs in life sciences every year for the next 10 years that needs to be filled. And we need to create a pipeline of individuals to fill those roles in order for us to realize the full growth potential of our sector here just in Indiana. There is a big focus right now, both at the industry level and also at the governmental level to bring back manufacturing capabilities to the United States. So the pandemic really exposed the frailty of the life science value chain and supply chain, and that actually, trying to get products from overseas back into the United States that people rely on for their health became a real challenge during the pandemic. And so now there's a big effort to make investments here in the US to make products here locally to really reduce that risk. And so there's great opportunity right now for those that are interested in getting into manufacturing of life science products to have the right level of experience to go and pursue those opportunities to fulfill that need and demand. I think that's the opportunity we have, is to do a better job of storytelling around why Indiana. I think we are one of the best kept secrets in life sciences, based on all the assets that we have. We have 3 R1 universities. Again, have centers of excellence in orthopedics and in radiopharmaceuticals, in areas of like cardiometabolic disease, et cetera, contract manufacturing. We just have to do a better job of telling that story and letting people know that, we are a center of gravity and excellence in these key areas, and you should come here to really be part of that ecosystem that's so talented and has such great potential. And so, we do have a job to do with regard to telling our story in a more effective and a broader way, and so that people not only within the United States but also even globally know that we're open for business, and we're a great place to both start a business and raise a family.
If you'd like more information about this or any of our industry-focused segments, visit our website. It's beoshow.com. Scan the QR code. It'll get you right there. When we return this hour, time for our success story. Time is short on business equity and opportunities. I have a success story to share, though. Earlier in the hour, we talked about the new Eskenazi Health Center on the northeast corner of 38th and North Arlington. It aims to use a holistic approach to improving the lives of that area of Indianapolis. Just down 38th Street, you'll find another business dedicated to improving the area. We first met the owners of Indy Fresh Market last year when it opened. In today's success story, how the store aims to help solve the problem of food insecurity on the east side and why the owners decided to take on the task.
This is Business, Equity, and Opportunities Success Story.
We've been friends since like 5th grade, 6th grade, gym class, going to school with each other, riding bikes in the neighborhood, Grew up all the way to about 18, 19, Mike went to the military. I started doing electrical work, and we came back around when he came back from the military and just started Wall Street Convenience down the street. So
we just recognized the need for the basic necessities in our community. I had been in the military, and I had seen, different communities around the world that had less amenities than we have, and they were able to provide their communities with grocery stores. So I didn't see why we didn't have one in our neighborhood.
Staying focused, staying determined, and staying positive. Those are the 3 things that just kept us afloat. Because it's a lot of obstacles and speed bumps along the way, so we had to stay focused the whole ride.
So we got a lot of support from Cook Medical and our consultant, Joe the Grocer. Cook Medical, they helped us strengthen our academic background by teaming with us to create a retail certificate program at Martin University. And then our consultant, Joe the Grocer, he has over 25 years of grocery retail experience that he has lent us his knowledge to help us become successful.
Just the outcome of the community coming together, just showing a lot of support, Facebook, Instagram, all social media. It was just amazing, and I'm really grateful for that.
Probably say my biggest fear was probably loss prevention, to be honest. But we haven't been getting a lot of support from the community. We haven't experienced any of that negativity. So we hope it keeps going and my worst fears don't come true.
The smiles, the hugs, the laughter, the joy that's coming from this community is just outstanding. We want to keep that rolling for years to come. We're talking to the future Mr. Feed Indies here, so we're going to get this rolling. Every food desert in Indianapolis, we're trying to cover that and combat that. So,
well, with this community, most people, and in other food deserts, most people do their food shopping at gas stations, which is crazy and unfathomable to the normal person. But that's the situation that most people in this community were in before we came and brought this establishment to life.
I think we overemployed, so we just love to keep it coming because a lot of people's mothers are coming in, get the kids jobs and employment. We try to do the best we can to split the hours up, make it fair for everybody. So, yeah, definitely are.
I love the support that we've been getting from the community. Everybody that comes in here loves the store. We had a couple people cry when they, telling us how they felt about the store. So just not wanting to let the community down and, wanting to make my children, my family proud. So that keeps me going and gives me something to wake up to every day.
The personal effect is just keeping this community proud. Like Michael said, our families, they're proud of us every day that we're coming in here. They know we're tired. They're calling us, just checking on us because we're working long hours, sun up to sundown. But I'm determined. We're both determined to make this thing work. So that's what's keeping us floating.
If you have a success story you'd like to share, send us an email, beo@wishtv.com. We'd love to share it. All of our segments can be found on our website. It's beoshow.com. Follow the QR code. Thank you for spending this hour with us. Join us next week for more business equity and opportunities. Till then, I'm Scott Sander. Have a great day.
Business, equity, and opportunities made possible by InnoPower, Bose McKinney & Evans, Gemco, Fifth Third Bank, and Indiana University, Indianapolis.